But we're hearing things such as the investment of millions and millions of dollars back into technology, the investment or reinvestment of money from those royalty payments that are going into things such as AI. For example, we had one franchisor talk about the AI caller being able to handle 250 calls simultaneously, all at the same time, which is absolutely amazing. Being able to really scale up a call center with two full-time employees overseeing, calls for emergencies, or if the AI couldn't handle a call, would go to a live caller. But they were able to scale the call center to what was equivalent to hundreds of people with only two employees and have the AI handle the rest. And this is more for scheduling and answering questions and things like that. A lot of franchisees are funding this with, savings, utilizing an SBA loan with we'll call it a 20-30% down payment. Maybe it's a ROBS, rollover business startup, where you're utilizing retirement assets, or even a home equity line of credit. There's so many different ways, which we covered in our funding podcast, but the franchisor is really accelerating things in order to get that franchise owner up and running so that they can start earning back on their investment. We talk about the idea of cash return. So whatever money you're putting down, maybe it's that 20% in the SBA loan, getting up and running, generating revenue so that you can earn back the money you invested in that business. Going back to support, the major theme of the conference, I'm not saying that's all we covered, but that was a very common theme, especially when we sat down and spoke with the franchise companies one-on-one. They really cared for their franchisees. They really wanted to get those franchisees up and running, especially if they're leaving their jobs, right, full time in order to launch this business. So decreasing time to get up and running was big. Cutting costs. We heard from multiple brands specifically that were offering their franchise was in the venue, we call it a brick and mortar setting. So whether it be a standalone building, many of them we talk with were in a build out of 1,000 to 2,000 square feet in a shopping center, shopping mall. Cutting costs for things like cutting the footprint of the actual space, offering multiple options of, depending on the footprint and how large of an investment you want to make. In other cases, just permanently reducing the footprint for that specific brand in order to keep costs low, staff and what we call headcount as low as possible, and things like that. So really digging into the numbers, utilizing the feedback, the numbers that each and every one of the franchisees are sending in, that they are disclosing in the item 19 in the financial representation, assuming they have a year under their belts at year-end close, utilizing that information, comparing it, digging into the financials to see where they can improve. How do they lower cost of goods? How do they lower overall expense? Various other items in order to keep that franchise owner as profitable as possible, especially that first year, which we did a show talking about the builder year, getting that business up and running. Hey guys, thanks for listening. I hope you're enjoying the show. As a thank you for being a valued listener, wanted to offer you a free copy of my book, Franchise Freedom. This book was written back in 2020, and it's my exact blueprint in helping you find that perfect franchise. I wrote it based off my experiences and wanted to pass that along to you. Want to chat today? You could book a call directly on our website, top right side of that screen, and you can schedule a 20-minute call. We'll dive into if a franchise is a good fit, help you get qualified, and figure out what that perfect franchise match may be. So I hope you take me up on my offer. Once again, Franchise Freedom. Download the book today for free or book a call with me directly, and we'll help you bypass all that information you find online. Most importantly, figuring out if a franchise is the right fit and then figuring out what that perfect franchise looks like. So thanks again for listening to the show, and back to the show. Technology, as we talked about, was big. AI was definitely a major theme. Really cool stuff. I love technology and hearing about all the latest and greatest. Utilizing drone technology to take pictures and video of a neighborhood, all the roofs in the neighborhood, infrared, looking for heat loss, taking advantage of those videos, and then scanning again after a storm to see if a roof had damage due to a storm. So that would be an insurance claim. Even utilizing drone for power washing the roof of a stadium or a water tower or something where it is going to be multiple stories high. That way that the person doesn't have to go up there. You just need that drone operator to go out on the roof for the power washing to get up there and not have to get on a ladder and risk potentially falling off that ladder. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely afraid of heights.
Technology is great, but how does it affect the bottom line? Next, we look at how franchisors are physically shrinking their stores to grow your profits.